Today's video is just a little bit different because this topic isn't one that just came to me overnight. It's not one that I intuited, and it's not one that I had planned. I am making this video for somebody that I gotta try not to cry. No promises, no promises. Anyway, I am making this video for someone so important to me, so special to me, probably one of the kindest, most loving, caring individuals you ever would meet, both to people and animals alike. I'm not going to obviously say her name here, but she reached out to me yesterday and she said, Denise, I know you have a lot of videos, but do you have any videos about dealing with bullies? And in that moment I stopped and I had to think about it, because at this point my catalog of videos is pretty long. And I was like, I don't know, have I ever done anything on bullies before? I can't remember. And I mean, in this case, we're talking specifically adult bullies because she is an adult, she's not a child, obviously, and she's really struggling. And I said to her, you know what, I don't think I do have a video, but I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this just for you, because this is not something you deserve. You were too kind-hearted, you were too loving, and you don't deserve to feel this way. So without further ado, you know who you are if you're watching this video. I adore you, but I am hoping that in putting this video out, it will support other people, because bullies come in all shapes and sizes. Let's just put that out there. Bullies can be someone that are literally trying to do you harm. Like when you think of the classic bully, you're thinking back in high school, they're teasing you, they're being mean to you, they're saying hurtful things, they're shaming you. We have those type of bullies, but it could be an aggressive person in your life. It could even be, maybe it's a sibling even that's really aggressive, that is hard to deal with, that has that really difficult energy. It could be a situation with a boss that's being a bully. It could be somebody you meet in the grocery store, for all you know, road rage. Bullies come in all shapes and sizes. So while this video was inspired by this particular individual, I am hopeful that as I go through this, if you yourself have been dealing with a bully in your own life, it can give you some insight as to how to move forward. So with that, I'm going to talk about my 5 steps to dealing with adult bullies specifically. If it is a child, obviously, this is a completely different story. I'm speaking specifically to adult bullies. Number 1 is know your boundaries. It is so important for you to understand your own rules of engagement. And I know I've talked about boundaries 100 times here in this community, but I will keep driving this home. If you don't know yourself, what you're willing to take, what behavior is acceptable, what you are willing to put up your hand and be like, no, thanks, and provide consequences to, it's going to be really hard for you to even know how to navigate a bullying situation because you don't have clear boundaries for yourself. If a boundary of yours has been violated and somebody is coming into your personal space and being nasty to you and saying awful things to you and hurting you, if you don't know, hey, that is not okay with me, if you are not so strong in that boundary, and for some of you that might not struggle with boundaries as much, you might say, well, of course that's not acceptable. Of course that's against the rule of engagement. For some people, this is really difficult. They haven't been shown how to set boundaries and they don't know them for themselves. So that line might be convoluted so much that they don't even recognize or realize that somebody's violating a boundary and being that way because they haven't set that up for themselves. And remember, a kind reminder, a boundary is simply a rule of engagement on how people should interact with you. So for me, if you're going to get up in my face, if you're going to say hurtful and mean things for me, that is a boundary for me. I am not going to take it. I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to accept it. I'm walking away. See you later. Bye. That is my boundary. So number 1 in dealing with adult bullies is know your boundaries, know your limits, and have a firm idea. Number 2 is staying safe. I cannot drive this home enough. If you are dealing with somebody in person that you can't get away with or get away from, you need to secure your safety ASAP, especially if you are feeling unsafe. Get out of there, protect yourself, find your way out. Now, a lot of times, especially right now, given the state of the world, a lot of this is being done virtually. So if your safety online is being threatened in any way, the beautiful part about that is you have the ability to screenshot whatever is being said, keep it for your private records. If it escalates, take it to local authorities and be safe at all times. The wonderful thing about social media as well too is that block button is just a moment away, because when we're talking about safety, we're not just talking about physical safety, we're talking emotional safety as well too. So if your emotions are really raging and interacting with these people, if you are having fight, flight, or flee responses, stress responses in the body, that is your energetic body reacting as well too, your physiological body and your emotional body all reacting all at once. That block button is your absolute best friend. But if people are threatening you and things of that nature, you want to make sure you're screenshotting, because your safety is number 1. You need to be safe and keep yourself protected. Number 3, another kind of level of protection is protecting your energy. And as I was explaining to this incredible person yesterday, your energy is precious, and you want to be sure, because what happens with a bully is that, and I was explaining this a little bit to her as well, and this is my personal belief. Some people might believe this, some people might not, but bullies, here's a saying, okay? I've got this wonderful little saying that I heard somewhere, that healed people, but there's a flip side to that coin, meaning hurt people hurt other people. And I truly believe that bullies have been hurt so deeply because they weren't born like that. They were not born like that. Something has transpired in their own life, and they have adopted this persona, and they have adopted and identified and become this individual that hurts other people in this very twisted way of making themselves feel better, making their own heart feel better, because they're pushing the pain out on others. And there's a lot of projecting with bullies too. When somebody is coming at you and they're judging you and they're being mean to you and they're saying awful things to you, there is a part of them that feels the same way about themselves. We can only judge others for what we see in our own self, because other people are a reflection of who we are, what our internal world is. So if somebody is bullying you, if somebody is being awful and mean to you, think about the specifics and flip it back on them, because I am promising you 90% of the time that is what they see in their own heart, and they're projecting it out onto another person in an attempt to deal with it, because we were never really taught as children how to deal with internal pain. We're just walking around scarred and bruised and traumatized, but nobody has any idea how to deal with it. And that's the saddest part about this. So you need to be very mindful in protecting your own energy, because a bully wants you to get in the ring. They want you to dump fuel on the fire. They want it to be a big, huge deal, the biggest deal possible, because that validates them. So you need to be very mindful in being protective of your energy, and knowing that there are some battles that are not worth it. If somebody is literally, calling you names and being terrible and being awful and saying horrible, rude, hurtful things, you don't have to defend yourself. That is the thing. You do not owe anybody any explanation, and you do not have to defend yourself, especially, and in the case of this person, their heart is so kind and so pure, and their light is so bright that there is nothing that they have to defend. They know who they are. So the best possible thing to do in this case is to shut it down, to ignore, go no contact, because the bully wants you to get involved. The bully wants to know they are hurting you. They want you to know, they want to know they're having an impact. That's what they want more than anything. So if you can go zero contact, you're no fun anymore. They're going to go, sadly, and find somebody else that is going to engage, that's going to defend themselves, that's going to feed into the beast that they want you to feed into. But for you, your energy is precious. Protect it. Hit that block button, hit that ignore button, and refuse to engage. This goes back to boundaries and knowing what they are. So how many is that? We did boundaries, we did personal safety, we did protecting your energy, and oh yes, sometimes you have to communicate with a bully. There are times where you're going to have to speak to them, where you're going to have to get engaged with them. Remain calm, cool, and collected at all times. Remember, these individuals want you to get in the ring. They want to have a big, big fire. And if you have to talk to them, be direct, stick to the facts, be calm, cool, and collected, and refuse to raise your voice. Even though you're going to want to so bad because they're bullies, you're going to want to raise your voice and defend yourself and be like, no, that's not right. Calm, cool, and collected. You want to be as monotone as your 8th grade teacher was. I don't know. My 8th grade teacher was pretty good, but you know what I mean. Calm, cool, collected, stick to the facts. That's it. And be assertive. Don't be afraid to stand your ground, but do so in a way that is factual, professional, calm, cool, collected. And number 5, and this is probably going to rub people the wrong way, but this is a big one for me. As we talked about before, hurt people. Bullies are hurt people. Have a little compassion. Because what's going on in their internal world, you can ignore them. You don't have to engage with them, but maybe they deserve a little love and kindness as well too. And now I'm not speaking, it does not have to be speaking word. You do not have to be kind to them, but you can say from your heart to their heart, I hope they find wellness. I hope they find their way. I hope they can heal their internal scars so they don't have to be bullies anymore. That's just a little tidbit from me, my little cherry on top. Anyways, hopefully you found this helpful. I know this is a much longer video than normal, but I really wanted to do it justice. And, Let's open up a conversation about bullying. If you've experienced bullying, part of dealing with it is talking about it. You do not have to keep that to yourself. You can share if you feel comfortable. So if you have been dealing with an adult bully in your life, please feel free to share your experience so that we all know and we can uplift each other. And of course, we can support each other. But with that, I hope you are happy, healthy, and abundant. And of course, make it a great day. Make it a great day. Make it a great day. I'm picturing myself like as a tap dancer on a stage. You know, I feel like I have a hat. Okay, anyways, let's get to it. I'll see you soon.